Vox VoiceWorks presents Spider-Man and the Menace of the Chameleon, a Vox VoiceWorks original production. Inside the First Metropolitan Savings Bank, panic erupts. Men in cheap black hoodies storm in with guns drawn, the discount kind, the type you buy when you're confident the universe won't punish you for your bad decisions.
Everybody on the floor! Don't make us hurt you!
Teller, open the drawer now! People scream, someone drops a purse, someone else tries to pray, and the robbers already arguing about who was supposed to bring the extra ammo. And then, a red and blue blur slices through the air like a punchline with perfect timing. Hey fellas, love the enthusiasm, but hate the outfits. What, were they all out of rubber noses and face paint at the party store? Before the nearest robber can turn and fire, Spider-Man plucks the gun right out of his hands with a quick bad kids don't get to play with the toys. Time for a timeout. Another robber panics and starts shooting wildly. The bullets chase Spider-Man around the room like they're late for a dance routine. Whoa! Careful! Some of us don't have health insurance. I'll just be taking that. He backflips over a desk and flicks the man in the forehead with a sharp thud that sends him flying across the room. That ought to give you something to think about. And then there were two. The other two robbers rush him. He quickly jumps between them, sweeps their legs, and webs them together, slinging the pair straight out onto the ceiling like ugly art pieces. The last robber lifts his gun, aiming right at Spidey. But in a moment before he can fire, Spider-Man webs the muzzle shut. The gun backfires in his hand, spraying smoke everywhere as he drops it. Ooh, that looked like it hurt. You might want to get that checked out. And this. In a moment, Spider-Man sprung across the room, landing both feet into the man's chest. He let out a "ooh" as he was sent sprawling to the ground. And it was done. Moments later, the robbers were wrapped up like discount leftovers, hanging from walls and ceiling tiles. Civilians crawled out from behind desks, blinking and shaking, gasping. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, Spider-Man. Hey, what can I say? I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. See you guys. Sure, the police will be here soon enough to deal with them. He fires a web line and swings out the shattered front door. And that was just a Tuesday for Spider-Man. No applause, no parade. Just a webbed-up room full of criminals and a hero who has to beat rush hour traffic on his way home. Later that night, high above Times Square, Spider-Man perches on the edge of a billboard, watching the news flash across a giant screen. There he is, bright red suit, perfect heroic form, and next to him, J. Jonah Jameson, scowling like someone stole his lunch.
He's a menace. A mass vigilante with no accountability. Who destroyed property? Spider-Man. Who endangered civilians? Spider-Man. Who ruined my morning coffee? Probably Spider-Man.
Peter just sighs. Yep. Classic JJ. Should have trademarked the word menace. And in a moment, he swings away into the lights of the city, ready to finally go home. Night falls on New York City, with all the subtlety of theater curtains dropping. Some people clock out, others clock in. And in the basement of Federal R&D facility on West 49th Street, one particular someone is already 3 steps into the job. A lone security guard makes his rounds, clipboard in hand, flashlight sweeping. But the man walking that patrol route is not the man whose picture is on the ID badge. His posture is perfect, his stride measured, chin raised just enough to appear bored, but not enough to draw attention. His voice, when he checks in over the radio, is a flawless imitation. South corridor clear. Moving to section C. He wears the face of Officer Daniel Ruiz. Married, 2 kids, 15 years on the night shift. A face he pulled from the employee database 3 hours ago. But that's just his warm-up act. He approaches a biometric scanner. The machine chirps. Outdated tech. He raises a gloved finger. The glove ripples, liquid metal dancing under synthetic skin. It reshapes itself into Reese's exact fingerprint pattern. A soft beep. Access granted. The door unlocks. He steps through like he owns the place. Inside the R&D server room, rows of humming machines glow in dim blue light. The chameleon drops the Ruiz disguise, the skin on his face peeling away like a high-definition projection unwinding. Underneath it is the real him, skin pale and smooth like polished ceramic, eyes sharp and intelligent. Features angular but eerily neutral, a living blank slate. He was still handsome in his own strange way, but empty. Not a face meant to be seen for long. The man had a gift, an artist's eye and a thief's heart. To him, identity is a toolkit and nothing more. He reaches into his coat and removes a drive the size of a lighter and plugs it into the server. 30 seconds. Plenty of time. The lights flicker, and data floods the drive. Moments later, a security guard enters unexpectedly. Hey, Ruiz, thought you were upstairs. The guard freezes. This man is not Ruiz. The chameleon smiles. Actually, I believe you're just where you need to be, and so am I. The chameleon touches the side of his neck, and the skin ripples again, this time reshaping into the exact face of the guard standing in the doorway. Same jawline, same crooked nose, same tired eyes. The guard stumbles back, horrified. What are you? The chameleon replies, a man of many talents, and unfortunately, you're late for your shift. He slams the guard's head into the panel, not enough to kill, just enough to make sure he won't wake up anytime soon. He props the guard neatly against the wall. A few seconds later, the data drive finally finishes downloading. Chameleon pockets it and switches forms again, this time into a strikingly attractive woman in a lab coat. Short dark hair, elegant posture, and a professional smile that could end careers. The ID tag belongs to Dr. Emily Novak. He adjusts her glasses and checks her reflection in a polished metal surface. Perfect. He reaches for the exit, knowing full well by the time anyone realizes what happened, he'll be long gone. Inside the Parker house, early morning. Peter! Peter, dear! It's 7:30. You'll miss your bus. Oh, What bus? 7:30. Oh my, are you alright in there? Yep, totally awake, definitely conscious. At least eat something. Already on it. Love you, Aunt May. Bye. Peter sprints off the porch, checks both ways, and... For most college students, oversleeping means a late morning and a bad grade. But for Peter Parker, it means a 3-mile sprint across Queens, 20 stories in the air, hoping no one looks up at the wrong moment. Peter lands quietly behind a building, adjusting his shirt. He fixes his hair, throws on his backpack, and walks out like nothing happened. As he heads towards the science hall, Gwen Stacy appears. Morning, Pete. Oh, hey, Gwen. Beautiful day, huh? It's 70 degrees and humid, Pete. But sure, beautiful. She walks off, heels tapping lightly. Cool, smooth move, Pete. No wonder you're single. Inside Dr. Connor's classroom. Regenerative biology. In certain reptiles, lost tissue can be restored within days. Imagine applying that to humans. Lost limbs, permanent injuries, gone. Peter raises his hand. Yes, Mr. Parker. Wouldn't that genetic instability from cross-species DNA cause, the subject to completely destabilize? Many students shift in their chair, impressed by his knowledge. Excellent question. Exactly the flaws scientists struggle with today. You're thinking ahead as usual, Pete. Dr. Kurt Connors, war veteran, brilliant scientist, respected professor, and someone who saw great potential in Peter Parker long before the rest of the world knew Spider-Man. Peter steps outside after the class, giving a quick wave to Dr. Connors as he continues his way into the hallway. As he makes his way down the hallway, he bumps into her. Mary Jane. Peter startles. Mary Jane, hi, hey, how are you? You look like you're about to faceplant in class. Long night, Pete? Studying. Yeah, very intense studying. Sure, Pete. Sure. Well, don't stutter yourself into an early grave. Oh yeah, by the way, party at Liz's this weekend. And you're coming. She walks off like it had already been decided. Wait, I am? You are now. After Pete leaves the campus, he begins to get ready for his walk back home. But then, spider senses, tingling. Oh, what the hell can this be now? And then he hears it. Distant siren wails, police cars racing by, and a sudden sharp sting. Peter's voice tightens. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I get to go home and nap. He looks around, checking to see if anyone is watching him. then darts into an alley. And he goes from Peter Parker to Spider-Man. Classes, friends, responsibility. Peter tries to keep up with it all, but when trouble calls, New York gets Spider-Man. 3 minutes later, downtown Manhattan. Traffic hums, people stroll, vendors shout, a normal day, and then a shockwave rips down the street. Windows rattle, car alarms wail, civilians scream and scatter. A second blast detonates, tearing up a chunk of pavement. Mid-swing, Spider-Man winces as another shockwave rattles the skyline. That's definitely not construction. Unless construction noise learned how to punch buildings. He swings down towards street level. As he descends, he spots the Shocker in full quilted yellow suit, vibrational gauntlets glowing, blasting shockwaves into the street like he's testing speakers at full volume. Spider-Man lands on the nearest lamppost. Hey, Herman. I know I put you in jail back in January. What? Riker's doing some kind of summer release program? It's Shocker! And I ain't here for you, wall crawler. Just back off. Shocker fires another vibrational blast into a parked taxi. It flips end over end with a metallic crunch. No bank trucks, no hostages, not even a dramatic monologue about money or revenge. Just noise. A lot of noise. Peter lands lightly on a lamppost, ducking out of the way of flying debris. So let me get this straight, Herman. You're not robbing anything. You're just out here doing what? Noise pollution? Art performance? I said back off, wall crawler. Shocker swings an arm, and another explosion bursts forth. A concussive blast tears through the lamppost as Spider-Man flips into the air. He tosses a web line and slingshots himself forward. Whoa, that almost parted my hair. If I had time to actually do my hair this morning. The fight begins. Spider-Man vaults off of a car hood. Shocker fires another shockwave. Spidey twists midair, narrowly dodging. Okay, Spidey, those aren't punches. Those are handheld earthquakes. One clean hit and I'm wallpaper. Spidey lands behind Shocker and fires a web. Shocker spins and blasts them apart easily before they land. Webs don't stick to compressed vibration fields, genius. Right. Forgot your suit's basically a quilted panic attack. Shocker stomps forward, gauntlets pulsing. He's stronger than last time. Better gear. Better funding. Okay. So if he's not here to steal anything, then... Another shockwave tears past. Spider-Man is thrown back into a newsstand, scattering newspapers everywhere, along with splintering wood. He groans as he pushes himself up. Oh, what's the point? Who's he trying to impress? Or distract? Hey, Herman, mind telling me why you're leveling Midtown? Because the Yelp reviews for this performance are gonna be rough. Shocker doesn't answer, just charges up both gauntlets. He's not focused on me. He's not running. He's... stalling? Spider-Man leaps forward as Shocker unleashes a massive cross blast. It misses the hero but obliterates a row of mailboxes. Spidey lands behind him, sliding, turning, calculating. Vibration waves. Gotta disrupt the gauntlets or overcharge them. He's basically a walking speaker. I just need to blow the amp. He shoots 2 quick web lines at Shocker's ankle and yanks. Shocker stumbles. Just enough. Spider-Man flips over him and lands on his back. This is your friendly neighborhood reminder to turn down the volume. He grabs onto both of the gauntlets and squeezes. And now we turn them off. The gauntlets detonate. The Shocker's gauntlets spark, the feedback screaming through the air. No, 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 no! Burst of energy knocks Shocker flat on his back, smoke curling off his arm. Spidey lands beside him, panting. Whew. And I thought my mornings were loud. Before Shocker can make another move, he webs him to the pavement. He wasn't here for money. Wasn't here for revenge. This was a distraction. But for who? He looks up, and he can hear them, sirens approaching. Something else had to happen today. Something that this was just loud enough to hide under all the noise. He swings upward. Don't go anywhere, Herman. And if Rikers is really doing a summer release program, tell him I want my frequent flyer miles. He swings off into the city. Hours later, after dealing with several more robberies, a cat stuck in a tree, and a pass-through paper for his physics class, Peter finds himself high above Times Square again. But this time, instead of the face of J. Jonah Jameson, instead he sees something new and even more alarming. Breaking news. Police confirm a high-level breach at Roxxon's Midtown Research Facility. Security reports indicate unauthorized entry. Investigators are on site. The rest of the report turns into noise as Spider-Man tenses. Roxxon. So that's what Shocker was running cover for. Get attention away from everything else. Talk about a long con. He wastes little time thinking about it, as he shoots a web across the city, and in a moment, he's swinging through the air. Spider-Man swings across the skyline, city lights blurring past. If I time it right, I might get there in time to stop it. But if not, maybe I can catch them getting away. He wouldn't get there in time to stop the intruder, but he would arrive just in time to see something completely different. Spider-Man lands on top of a building, high above the Roxxon research facility. Below him, investigators and police swarm the streets. No way I'm getting in there. But I can just stay a spider on the wall and see what I can see. He takes a moment, pauses, then decides to swing in closer, but remaining just at enough of a distance so no one spots Spider-Man. Still don't know if the cops are gonna trust me after all of J. Jonah's nonsense. So, best I stay out of sight, at least for now. From his vantage point, he could see all the normal proceedings of the police operation. Checking the crime scene, interviewing witnesses, and much, much more. Everything seemed routine, at least from what he'd seen. But How could someone have broken into such a top-secret facility and escaped with no trail, no nothing? Spider-Man was perplexed. He watched for a little while longer, until he finally saw something off. Spider-Man's gaze locks on a figure, slightly apart from the groups. He seems normal, but out of it in sorts, almost as if playing a role. A tall man, hat pulled low, smiling like he just walked out of a Broadway show. The man turns, walking away from the officers. His movements are smooth, casual. Too casual for a high-profile crime scene. He's leaving the scene like nothing happened. And that car. The beep of a car unlocking. Spider-Man crouches down lower, observing. Definitely not one of New York's finest. And yet he was there, in the middle of the scene. As the man steps out of the peripheral vision of the officers, Spider-Man watches, intrigued. And after a moment, the man's face shifts. It changes. It goes from tall, handsome officer to a beautiful young woman. In just a moment, like a snake shedding its skin. And just like that, he hops into the sleek black SUV, starting the engine, and he's off. Spider-Man sits there, bewildered for a moment. He's ready to hop into action, but he stops himself. In a moment, Spider-Man knew the game had changed. The thief wasn't just clever. They were a master of disguise, able to blend in almost seamlessly with their environment. This chameleon, as he thought to himself, was something different. Something different than the Shocker or other villains he had dealt with. No common criminal. As the car took off down the main street, Spider-Man swung along, following, at a distance to make sure he wasn't seen. Port Liberty, Staten Island, night. By the docks, far from the sirens of Midtown, the night was quiet, too quiet for anyone honest, perfect for men like the chameleon. You're late. Relax. If Silverman wanted you dead, he wouldn't send me. You got the package? Chameleon pulls out a briefcase and places it on a crate as the latches click open. Rocks and R&D files, unredacted. You slippery little ghost. Damn, I didn't even think this was possible. The enforcer slips Chameleon a thick envelope, padded heavy with cash. There's your cut. Don't get cute. Silverman ain't in a patient mood. Neither am I. Chameleon pockets the envelope and turns towards the exit. But before either of the men can move... What? Chameleon exclaims. Hey, you guys having a yard sale? Because that briefcase looks way above my pay grade. But I'll take it for $5. Before Spider-Man can say another word, every enforcer in the area has their guns trained on him.
Light 'em up, boys!
Gunfire erupts. Machine gun fire mixed with blocky semi-automatics chew lines through crates as bullets trail after the wall crawler. Okay, these guys didn't get the dollar store memo. Modified automatics, heavier recoil, and way angrier faces. Yeah, these aren't those bank robbers from today. Spider-Man dodges, flips out of the way, with the sharp ring of metal against metal behind him. Whoa, come on, guys. I just watched this. Spider-Man once again flips and slides out of the way of a ricochet. His spider sense going wild in his mind. Can't stay still. They're trying to corner me. Gotta find an opening. Gotta find it. A bullet hits a crate. Sparks fly off metal beams. Jeez, how many bullets did these guys bring? All of them? Suddenly, the firing pauses for half a second. Reloading. And that's the opening that he was looking for. That's it. And Spider-Man dives in. Then instinct takes over. Spider-Man didn't think, he just moved. Between shadows, between gun barrels, between heartbeats. It was almost like a dance for him. A dance he didn't know how he was doing, but he was doing it. Left, right, and good night. A goon fires wildly as Spider-Man appears behind him. What? By the time the smoke cleared and all the barrels were cool, the only thing standing was Spider-Man. Now, where's Mr. Dressup? And he's trying to go. Oh, no, Mr. I think it's time we had a little bit of a chat. Before the dark SUV could drive off, Spider-Man fired a web. And another. Binding the car to one of the dockhouses. As Chameleon slammed on the pedal, the car only smoked as the tires revved, but he went nowhere. A moment later, Spider-Man landed on the hood. Hi there. Your local friendly neighborhood Spider-Man would like to have a chat with you, Mr. Chameleon. I don't think we'll be having any words, Wallcrawler. My employer isn't a patient man. Spider-Man scoffed. Well, I think he's gonna have to pick you up from the police station if he wants to talk to you after this. But first, I've got a few questions. But before he could say anything else, his spider sense went wild. He looked down, quickly, expecting the chameleon to have something in his hand. But then he heard the cock of something metal behind him. Before he could turn, a force hit him in the back. White-hot pain shot through his eyes as he went flying. Before he could catch himself, he found himself in the water. Moments later, the chameleon stepped out of the car. I'm assuming you were sent by... Before he could finish his words, the man replied, Mr. Chameleon, the Kingpin would like a word with you, and make sure you bring that briefcase.